First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name. Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I wanted to bring out some information going into how Alexander the Great was prophesied in the Bible, okay, in the Holy Scriptures, and going into how he himself, Alexander the Great, he knew about the Most High Yahweh. He feared the Heavenly Father Yahweh, okay, and just bringing out proof going into that. So here I have Antiquities of the Jews. This is by Flavius Josephus, which was an Israelite historian, as you can see up here, containing the interval of 253 years and 5 months. So book 11 of Antiquities of the Jews. And when you go into section 8 and like the 5th part, down here it goes into Alexander visiting the holy priests. And I'll start it right here. It says, for Alexander, when he saw the multitude at a distance in white garments, while the priest stood clothed with fine linen, and the high priest in purple and scarlet clothing, with his mitre on his head, having the golden plate whereon the name of God was engraved, he approached himself and adored that name and first saluted the high priest. All right, so going into Alexander seeing the priest, okay, of the Heavenly Father, okay, the priest being adorned, in that holy clothing. It says, the Jews also did all together with one voice salute Alexander and encompass him about, whereupon the kings of Syria and the rest were surprised at what Alexander had done, and supposed him to be disordered in his mind. However, Parmenio alone went up to him and asked him how it came to pass that when all others adored him, he should adore the high priest of the Jews. Right, so you had this fellow comrade of Alexander asking Alexander, like, what's wrong with you? How you gonna bow down to these people? Right, because during that time, the Jews or the Israelites, they were looked down upon. We were, just a outside group of people that were looked down upon by all other nations. So it says, how it came to pass that when all others adored him, he should adore the high priest of the Jews, to whom he replied, I did not adore him, but that God who hath honored him with his high priesthood. Right, so going into how he was honoring the Most High, and it gives the reason why. It says, for I saw this very person in a dream in this very habit when I was at Dios in Macedonia, who, when I was considering with myself how I might obtain the dominion of Asia, exhorted to me to make no delay, but boldly to pass over the sea thither, for that he would conduct my army, and would give me the dominion over the Persians. Whence it is that, having seen no other in that habit, and now seeing this person in it, and remembering that vision and the exhortation which I had in my dream, I believe that I bring this army into the divine conduct, and shall therewith conquer Darius and destroy the power of the Persians, and that all things will succeed according to what is in my own mind. Right, so Alexander was saying that in one of his dreams, he saw the priest, right? He saw the priest dressed in that white linen, in the same way. And that priest in his dream told him that, hey, don't have fear. Don't have fear, because you're going to be able to overcome those Persians, right? Cross that river, And it says, at the key point, where is it that I want? It says, who, when I was considering with myself how I might obtain the dominion of Asia, exhorted me to make no delay, but boldly pass over the sea and thither, for that he would conduct my army and would give me the dominion over the Persians. Right, and that's the key point. It says that he, right, who is the he? Okay, that's talking about Yahweh. The Heavenly Father was the one that was controlling the army of Alexander the Great, right? That was putting it in Alexander the Great to think of all these military tactics to conquer all of Asia in 12 years. That's a historical feat, something that's never been done before. And Alexander the Great did it through the power of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, right? So, and because the reason why was because it was prophesied that he was going to do it. And the priest actually told Alexander the Great that he was prophesied in the scriptures. Okay, I'm going to read that down below. But let's get back to right here. It says, "In that all things will succeed according to what was in my own mind. And when he had said this to Parmenio, and had given the high priest his right hand, the priest ran along by him, and he came into the city. And when he went up into the temple, he offered sacrifice to God according to the high priest's direction, and magnificently treated both the high priest and the priests. And when the book of Daniel was showed him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended. And as he was then glad, he dismissed the multitude for the present." Right? So the priest showed Daniel where in Daniel it talks about, him, right? Because Alexander the Great was prophesied. And I'm going to actually bring that out right now. Let's go into that in Daniel chapter 7. And I'm actually going to go into it in the Blue Letter Bible, because these scholars, they themselves have recognized that this is what it's talking about. Right? So in Daniel chapter 7, Daniel has a vision. It's the vision of the four beasts. And this vision was representative of, the four great beasts were representative of four kingdoms that were going to rule the earth. So the first beast, when you go down, and actually breaks it down in Daniel chapter 2. It's the same, a different vision, but the same thing. The first kingdom was the Assyrian Babylonian Empire, as it says right here. Babylon, the first kingdom. The second one was the Medo-Persian Empire. That's the second beast. The third one was the Greek Empire. And the fourth is the Roman Empire. And right now, we're still in the fourth beast. Okay? We are still in the Roman Empire. It's just that instead of being called Rome, it's called America. Okay? America is the reborn Roman Empire. After this goes down, this is what comes. The divine kingdom. The kingdom, verse 44. "And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever." Right, that's going into the Israelites ruling forever. Okay, starting with the Yahushai, who this world calls Jesus, being there for 1,000 years. So that's what soon is coming. But in this lesson, we're going to be talking about that third beast, the Greek kingdom. So when you go into Daniel chapter 7, it gives you the breakdown. Daniel chapter 7 and verse 5, it says, "And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh." Right? And as we read, the second beast is going into the Medo-Persian Empire. Now, the reason it says that the bear raised up itself on one side is going into how one of the kingdoms, right? It was the Medes and the Persians together. But nowadays, when you look at it, it's mainly recognized as the Persian Empire, right? That's why it says it was raised up on one side, because it's mainly seen as the Persian Empire. But it was both the Medes and the Persians together. So that's the understanding of that. And when you go into the 3 ribs in the mouth, it goes into, if I remember correctly, it was 3 countries or 3 kingdoms that the Medo-Persians devoured. I think it was Egypt, Libya, and maybe Babylon or Syria. I forgot exactly on that breakdown. I have to revise, but it was going into 3 kingdoms. But the point is, that's the second beast, the Medo-Persians. Now, the third beast, verse 6. "After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it." Right? And this is going to the Greeks. That's why the priest told Alexander that one of the Greeks was going to take down the Persians, and that Alexander believed to be that person, which he was. And this is the proof. Okay, when it says that the leopard was talking about Alexander. And it says, and upon the back of it, 4 wings of a fowl. Right? It says the beast also had 4 heads. The beast talking about Alexander. The 4 heads is talking about his 4 generals. Okay? One more time. The leopard, the beast, is talking about Alexander. And when it says the 4 wings or the 4 heads, it's talking about his 4 generals that took over all of Europe, or all of Asia, when he passed away. So let's actually go into that history when you go into 1 Maccabees chapter 1. 1 Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1, it says, "And it happened after that Alexander son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Shittim, had smitten Darius king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up." Right? And the reason the earth was quiet, because he literally conquered everything. Okay? It says, "And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries, and nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place." Right? So his 4 generals mainly started ruling. And it says, "And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves, so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth." Okay? And the reason it says that evils were multiplied in the earth was because this was the beginning of the Edomites ruling the world. Okay? It started with the Greeks. Now, when you keep reading, verse 10, it says, "And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks." Right? And Antiochus Epiphanes, okay, he was one of those, one of his servants. Okay? And Antiochus Epiphanes, okay, was pretty much the Edomite that put hell on the Israelites. Okay? When you go read down in this chapter, it talks about how, let's actually bring it out. Verse 50, verse 48. So he made pretty much all the Israelites follow the Greek fashion. Verse 48, "That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable, with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever will not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die." Right? So this was in the rule of Antiochus. He was just wicked, put hell on the Israelites. But on the other hand, Alexander, he was actually a cordial. Okay, he was good to our people because of what they showed him, how he was prophesied to rule everything. Okay, and that's why he got to that point, was because the Most High was with them. And I'm going to keep on reading to show that. Where were we at? I'll just start right here. It says, "And that all things will succeed according to what it is in his own mind. And when he had said this to Parmenio, and had given the high priest his right hand, the priest ran along by him. And he came into the city, and when he went up into the temple, he offered sacrifice to God, according to the high priest's direction, and magnificently treated both the high priest and the priests. And when the book of Daniel was showed him, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended." Right, what we just read. "And as he was then glad, he dismissed the multitude for the present. But the next day he called them to him, and bid them ask what favors they pleased of him. Whereupon the high priest desired that they might enjoy the laws of their forefathers, and might pay no tribute on the 7th year. He granted all that they desired." Right, so right there shows you that Alexander was, he was cool with the Israelites. You put it like that. He looked at us as a holy people because of that dream he had, a divine intervention. So he sacrificed in the temple and let us follow our ways. Now, after he died, like I said, his forefathers, or not his forefathers, his, what's it called? His servants bear rule. Alexander the Great servants. And let's see how many servants he had. Companions. Nope. Right here. Who were the 4 commanders of Alexander the Great? And right there you should know What a coincidence, right? How interesting how here it says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and yet dominion was given to it. The 4 heads, 4 wings going into his 4 commanders. Antigonus, right? Instead of one successor, however, there are actually 4 generals who succeeded Alexander: Antigonus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. Right, and if I remember correctly, from the Seleucid dynasty is where you get Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes was king of the Seleucid Empire from 175 BC until his death in 164 BC. Noticeable events during Antiochus' reign include his near conquest of Ptolemaic Egypt, his persecution of the Jews of Judea and Samaria, and the rebellion of the Jewish Maccabees. Okay, and there you go. Okay. This is when we started to catch hell under the Greeks, was because of this Edomite right here. So, hey, I remember reading this, and this goes to show you that there's nothing new under the sun. The fact that, you know, it was already written that Alexander was going to conquer the Persians. The fact that he went and bowed down under the Israelite priests. He went to the temple to sacrifice unto the Heavenly Father Yahweh. You know, give thanks for, you know, giving him that power to do that. That should show you everything you need to know how, you know, that he is. His name. As hey, the name of the Heavenly Father Yahweh means he is. He exists. And the proof is in the pudding. You know, the proof, the receipts is right there. So, everything we're living right now is already prophesied. Everything. America, Babylon the Great, is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles. The mark of the beast, which is the chip in the hand or in the forehead, is going to take place. And a World War III is soon going to start ramping up. Right? And it's going to happen by the way of Israel bringing America into the mix. Okay? Israel is what's going to get World War III ramped up. Because it's going to start, or it already started. Israel against Hamas, you know. Israel against Lebanon. Israel against Iran. Guess who's back in Iran? Russia. Guess who's back in Israel? America. America versus Russia. World War III. That's the timeline. That's how it's going to happen. And, you know, it's all written in the scriptures is the most beautiful part. You know, we don't have to guess. We don't have to question it. No, it's right there and it's happening in front of our eyes. Yeah, I'll close it with this. Yahushua said, how many men have desired to see what we see. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 17. Start at verse 16, it says, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. And that's a straight truth, man. If you understand reincarnation, we've been through countless lifetimes waiting for all this to kick off. And how it's looking right now, this might be the last lifetime, the last time that we pass away. Right, Lord willing, I'm part of the elect. This might be the last life where we're stuck in this low estate. We're stuck, you know, being servants. Because how everything is playing out, the end time prophecies are literally right there. As it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, in the last days, the vision was gonna, let me just read it since I'm butchering it right now. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right, so that vision, okay, right now it is speaking, and it's not lying. It's happening exactly how it's been written. Same with Alexander the Great. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully it was edifying and a faith booster. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the other bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.